Today's video, figured we're going to do an around the island update. There's a lot that's been going on in my fish room. I know some of you guys do like when I give you updates on all my fish tanks. But now, if you've been following along with the channel, the fish tanks are actually in two different locations. One at my parents' house in Nassau County, and then it's also my apartment, which is in Suffolk County. So first up, we have my 75-gallon tank. This is basically a cichlid tank, essentially, where it houses the king of all kings, George the Oscar. If you are new to my channel, George was my first fish when I got back into the hobby about 3 years ago. He's doing pretty well right now. He's still the boss of this tank. The Jack Dempsey's right there. It's a female. Doing pretty well as well. All the cichlids in this tank are doing pretty well. To be honest with you, in regards to like updates, this tank really never has any updates. It kind of is just a firm, steady tank. It doesn't look like there's much going on in here, but when it gets to feeding time, it gets pretty crazy in here. There's a big splashing that happens and stuff. It's pretty crazy, actually. There's 5 total fish in here. Oscar, George, that Jack Dempsey female, my double-spotted pike, my rhino pleco, and then underneath this piece of wood is a spotted Raphael catfish. Now on to the bad news, guys. In past 1 or 2 videos of mine, I said that there has been a pretty tragic situation in a couple of my tanks, one of which being this 125. There's some new inhabitants here in this tank, and there's also some ones that are not here. One of which, if you're already kind of can tell, is my Stingray Steve. This tank had some sort of issue. I think it maybe have been something bacterial or maybe something internal fungal. Not really sure. But I lost a lot of fish in this tank. I lost my silver arowana, my Stingray Steve that everybody knew and loved on this channel. Steve is no longer with us. I tried my best to save him, and one day I just came back to my parents' house and he was gone. I did also lose about 2 Australian rainbow fish, and also my striped pike, which typically hung out on the top over there, recently jumped out of the tank about a couple days ago. So I actually put more of the plastic pieces that you could put on top of the tank on here. And again, that was one of my favorite fish. So on this channel, I don't like to be, a doom and gloom. So we're going to move past this. Steve died about probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I'm not necessarily over it, but it's not as new anymore. It's kind of the thing that I can kind of finally, talk about it and, kind of get past it. It's super unfortunate for this channel. I loved Steve the Stingray. He was my first Stingray, but definitely not going to be my last Stingray. I did treat this tank, all the fish in this tank looked pretty bad. And then I actually treated this entire tank for like a week with Paragard. Since then, all of the fish in here look absolutely incredible. Also, I did also lose my datnoid. So total fish is the Stingray, my one datnoid, the arowana, and the 2 rainbow fish, as well as the striped pike, which jumped for another reason. Probably the reason why it jumped was because I actually added some new fish in here. 2 of which are 2 Calbury peacock bass. One's right there, which is the dominant one, and then there's a subdominant one that's over there. Typically, when you get these types of bass and cichlids, you don't want to get 2 of them together. Just 2, because one will become dominant. As you can see, the stomach on this guy, he's doing pretty well. He looks kind of normal there, and this guy looks kind of thin. So kind of like with these datnoids, there were 3 datnoids in here, but now there's only 2. This guy is pretty big, and this one's very small. I got them just about the same time, and this one's kind of not really growing that quick. Obviously, you can look at the size difference there. Another fish I got was, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted about this jaguar cichlid that is kind of hiding out over there. This jaguar cichlid I posted about on Instagram, asked you guys if I should get it, and I did end up getting it. I believe it's a female. And just like this cichlid right here, just like this peacock bass, she's getting bullied a little bit by this peacock bass. So what we're actually going to do with these 2 cichlids that aren't really doing that great, they're kind of getting bullied up right now, we're going to bring them back to my apartment. I'm going to explain to you guys in a little bit what I'm going to be doing, but these fish will be able to kind of get eating better and also kind of get into their own and get into their own type of behaviors that they should be displaying and not being so submissive to this one peacock bass. We have one more tank to cover down here, and that is, of course, not the Penplex tank. The Penplex tank used to sit right here. The betta fish in this tank actually died as well. There was one crayfish left inside of this tank, and I actually gave it to a friend. So we brought the pufferfish back downstairs. It was in my bedroom upstairs, but I don't really go up there anymore because I don't live here anymore. So the pufferfish is now in here. The Penplex tank I still have. It's shut down and everything like that. When I do buy a house very soon, we're gonna set that back up. I don't know where the pufferfish is right now, but it literally was just out 2 seconds ago. Oh, there she is. You can kind of see her there. She's hiding out. So guys, I'm actually going to go ahead and feed these fish and do a water change down here. But after I do that, I'm going to go home and show you guys how my other tanks are doing. And here we are at the apartment. It's actually been a few days. Gotten a haircut since then. But we are now here and ready to look at these tanks. So since my last video, there's been a little bit of a change. The 29 gallon that was here is now down here. This 36 gallon bow front is actually a tank that I picked up on Black Friday. It was an incredible deal. This tank's actually, I think, like this tank's like $300, I think. It was on sale for $125, something like that. It was maybe $250, I'm not sure, but ridiculous deal. Came with a stand too, but that's actually at my parents' house right now, because I wanted to make sure I could just, keep this stand and this setup here. This is a 55-inch TV, and everything kind of fits perfectly up on this wall. Right now, this is kind of like my 29 gallon, what it was. I put this datinoid in here, though, to kind of grow out a little bit, and it's kind of inspired me to make some changes as well. I'm actually going to be going ahead and setting up another tank in here. My bedroom is on the opposite side, right over there. So we're actually going to set up a 15 gallon that was here at home to my wolffish, and set it up in my bedroom. I'm going to move all of these fish, these types of smaller fish. I have a lot of corridoras, small Bolivian ram, and some other smaller fish. Put them into the 15 gallon, and we're going to make this like a grow out predator tank, where we can have that datinoid, the other datinoid that was in my 125, the peacock bass that's kind of a little bit finicky. It's getting a little bossed around by the other peacock bass. Maybe bring the jaguar in here. Just kind of make this more of like a predator grow out type tank. Make sure everyone's kind of flourishing. I can give them more attention. They're inside my apartment and feed them every day. Things like that. But bulk them up and then put them back in the 125. That's essentially what I'm going to do for this tank, at least in the short term. So there's going to be a little bit of stocking changes with that. Now, my wolffish is now in my 29 gallon. This was my 15 gallon. It was acting as a grow out tank, the 15, but now he's finally outgrown that tank, and now he's in this tank. This fish is so personable inside this 29 gallon. He's got a lot more room here, and he's showing a lot more personality. He's honestly become one of my favorite fish. He's really just incredible. My wife says to me a lot, you have this big tank here for, this one little fish. Why do you do that? And it's a wet pet. He's honestly a wet pet. He's really cool. He's really beginning to get his nice good size here. And colors. I mean, look at him. So cool. I never feed him live. I only feed him dried foods. Sometimes like frozen foods, but he's really doing well. He could probably take on tank mates that are a little bit, about his size, but I'm really enjoying him by himself, and his personality is really great. And there's not really much. Let me look at that. Come on, guys. Such a dope fish with some really great personality. But let me get off the floor. If you do like these types of videos in this type of format, definitely drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know that. But I definitely do hope you enjoy this video. Rest in peace to Steve the Stingray again. We will never get over his loss and that loss. But if you did like this video, be sure to subscribe. Check out some of the other content here on my channel. Ding that notification bell if you already subscribed. But most importantly, don't forget to fish on.